Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Daredevil video. So here's my review and breakdown of episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again. Kind of a slower episode, I would say, but that ending really did set up episode 4, and I'm so excited about where this is going to go in terms of the Punisher storyline, and like everyone's reaction to this is going to be absolutely insane. Like Matt is going to be like, I know Kingpin was involved, right? But anyways, before we get into any of this here, I do have to warn you for spoilers for episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again, and also make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get my reviews and breakdowns of every single episode. But let's get into this episode here. So the episode begins, well, I would say that, just throughout the episode, there's like the BB report. What's going on with this? I really feel like this is something that is just kind of unnecessary to the story. The Kingpin mentioned something at some point in this episode towards the end that he does, he wants to meet with whoever was doing it, and I mean, we'll see where that goes, I guess, in next week's episode, if it goes anywhere there. But I'm just going to say, in general, I don't really understand it. Like, obviously, they're trying to set up that, like, yeah, this is what the world is like. This is what people in general sort of see, all the superheroes as. And this is, like, their point of view on everything. But I just kind of find it, like, unnecessary. I really do. I feel like in terms of the flow of the episode, when these moments pop up, it just sort of like, it kills the momentum of the episode right away. So unless it's building to something, we'll have to wait and see. I'm still sort of open to like, yeah, it's going to build to something at some point here. It's just, there's no explanation for any of it yet, really. And, we're 3 episodes in so far. So I'm just kind of like, what's going on with all of this right now? So we'll have to wait and see. But I just wanted to mention that in the very beginning here, because it's just, I don't know what's going on with this storyline. But we do see the Kingpin. The Kingpin is eating healthy. And that's a really nice detail there, because obviously, I mean, the actor in real life lost some weight, right? So I think just to sort of show that in these scenes here, it really shows that he's trying to change his life for the better, right? And Vanessa is obviously sort of on the other side of that, and she's saying to him, like, the criminals are misbehaving because there's no one at the head of the table, and Fisk or Kingpin, wants nothing to do with that. He says, like, none of it is our concern. So he's in a different place right now than Vanessa, and she keeps bringing this up constantly, and I think that she's trying to convince Fisk to become the Kingpin again. I mean, at some point, I think we are going to get to that point where he's just sort of forced to do that. I think that a lot of what is happening here, I mean, we're really seeing it a lot. Like Matt, in his belief that he doesn't have to be Daredevil, that he's able to help in different ways, that's being challenged so much here. And especially with what happens at the very end of this episode, with that big victory that they got in this episode, and then it ends like that. I don't know how Matt is really going to be able to, stop being Daredevil anymore. Like, I think he's going to have to be Daredevil now, and then just, he's going to have to fix this, because obviously they need Daredevil there. They really do. But we actually saw that the cops survived, and so I was very confused about this. I actually thought that Matt killed them in the episode, or in the previous episode. I mean, it made no sense. Like, if that did happen, that would cause a lot of drama just in general. So, a lot of people pointed that out and were saying that, like, well, I don't know if he's actually, like, for sure gone. So I was like, well, I guess we'll see, right? And yeah, I guess the cop did survive, and he's actually very suspicious of Matt. And we see a lot of shots in general in this episode where we see the Punisher's logo. So, he's about to show up at some point here, right? Like, at this rate, I'm assuming it's going to be episode 5 or 6, maybe 7, somewhere around there. I think that with where they're going now for episode 4, it's going to be a lot of like investigating what happened at the very end of this episode, which we'll talk about. And then that's going to lead to obviously Frank Castle, but then obviously I'm pretty sure the Kingpin's involved in all of this, but maybe not. Like, maybe he had nothing to do with it, right? But we do see this trial continue for Hector, and the cop is discussing what happened. As he's saying all this stuff here, obviously, like, Hector's heart is beating a lot. Like, he's getting very, frustrated with this, maybe very nervous, like, none of this happened kind of thing. And so Matt is just like, calm down, like, it'll be all right. And so he does feel better. And then Matt questions him, like the cop, and points out, like, you said that there's only 2 of you down there. He sort of corners him and points out that someone else was there. And so it totally messes with, I guess what the cop was saying. He can't lie now, obviously. I mean, he does, but he just seems absolutely shocked. And somebody with the Punisher logo, like in the scene, actually just sort of, he looks over and he says, this person cannot testify. So right there, I'm just like, all right, they're looking for Nicky Torres, I believe is his full name. So that same cop goes to try and stop them from bringing the witness to the stand, but they trick them. And yeah, he actually shows up. It works, but he doesn't go with the story. And I thought that was something that in terms of where this episode was going, was kind of a nice like change of the story, because I really felt like, and that just seemed like it was going to be the big thing that set Hector free, right? That made him innocent in this whole thing. And no, like Nikki Torres is just like, you know, I don't remember this, I don't remember that. And he really just doesn't go along with the story at all because he's scared of the cops that are there. And so he's way too scared to say anything, messes up the whole thing here. And so Matt is sort of forced to out Hector as the White Tiger. And so literally says, "Are you the White Tiger?" And it shocks everyone. And I thought that that was honestly a really incredible reveal here, because I think that, I mean, that was really the only way you could sort of do this story here. It is the only way you were really going to make him innocent, right? And so this really helped his case quite a bit. Obviously, everyone was very upset about that. And yeah, we see Matt make his case to everybody. You know, and it's funny because a lot of what they're talking about, a lot of the context behind everything of this episode, in terms of what it means for, you know, the White Tiger, or I guess Hector, and his story here, why he feels like he has to be the White Tiger. It's because he needs to help people. It's just something that it chose him, really, right? Like he never made that choice. It chose him. And so Matt is kind of, you know, he doesn't like whenever he hears answers like that because it goes against what he's doing right now. I think he's going to learn very soon that he needs to be Daredevil. Like he needs to be that person because he actually really does help the world in a lot of ways. And I think the White Tiger is representing that one aspect to it that, you know, I think what happened to him at the very end there, and I guess let's just get into that right now. The White Tiger's death scene at the very, very end. Was that the Kingpin? Was that the Punisher? Because whoever did that walked away and obviously had the Punisher, I guess, logo on their shirt. So you would assume that, yeah, that was probably Frank Castle, right? I'm still not entirely sure about that. Like, there's maybe some connection to Frank Castle, but there might be even setup in general, just like they're trying to set up Frank Castle, you know, for all of this happening, that if there's anyone who says, "Oh, I saw this person here," and the person had like this Punisher logo, like that's going to set up Frank Castle. And just based off a lot of the scenes that we've seen, I feel like Frank Castle has nothing to do with any of this, like at all. And so I think that's where he's obviously going to get involved in a lot of this here. I think his role this season will be very minimal. I heard that's like 1 episode or 2 episodes or something. Like, don't expect a really big story with Punisher. I think that's what that, you know, that TV series that they're doing, or whatever they're doing there with the Punisher next year, I think, or the year after, that's where you're going to really explore the character a lot. And so I think, yeah, in terms of where this story is going to go, I do think that the Kingpin is involved with this because of what he was talking about at the very end. Like, he was actually upset that the White Tiger was innocent. And that's how this episode ends here, is that we do see that Hector was innocent. It was a really amazing victory to something that, and obviously, I mean, we've seen everything, right? So it was just so cool to see Matt actually get a really big victory here. And, I mean, yeah, obviously, like he was saying, like they sort of had a celebration afterwards, like everything is all good. And let's just really, you know, like this is an amazing moment kind of thing. And so the White Tiger, you know, obviously, like he has to do what he's doing, and he's going out to try and save people. And then that's where he dies. And the White Tiger's death scene was just insane, like honestly brutal. So I think that, you know, in terms of my overall thoughts on, I guess, the episode, it was definitely a slower episode, but the ending really tied everything together here, where it does make me just like, I can't wait for episode 4. And at the end of episode 2, I didn't necessarily feel that way. Like I did in some way, but it was more just like, all right, it was a good start. You know, the beginning of episode 1 with Foggy's death, that was definitely, you know, very shocking. I couldn't really like that. I was just like, wait, what is going on here? Honestly, a really amazing moment so far. And yeah, I think episode 3, like while watching it anyways, it wasn't necessarily the most exciting episode. I think that overall it was good. It was a good episode. And that ending really does set up quite a bit for episode 4. So I'm looking forward to seeing what is going to happen next, and Matt's reaction to finding out that the White Tiger is dead now. And that's just going to be like, wait, what, why, like what's going on here? And I wonder if he's going to question Fisk about all this. I mean, there's a lot of different places that you can go in, you know, just in general there. I think that there are going to be reports, just because obviously we saw somebody wearing the Punisher logo. I don't think that was the Punisher doing that. I know people are going to be reacting like, oh, that was the Punisher. I don't think that was the Punisher, because I think that the Punisher wouldn't have done anything like that just in that way. And, you know, when I'm really thinking about it in terms of like earlier in the episode, we saw Fisk actually say that he wanted to talk to, you know, that person that was doing the BB report and all that. I wonder if someone had that camera somewhere around and actually saw that happen, right? And so that's going to be on the news. And it was someone with the Punisher logo. everyone's going to think it was Frank Castle. It's going to take off all the blame from Fisk. And I think that's how we're going to see Matt, get involved with Frank Castle again. That's probably where we're going here in the next couple of episodes. So yeah, that's my general predictions for the next couple of episodes. But yeah, overall episode I thought was actually pretty decent. The ending was really exciting. And how many episodes do we have left here? We have 6 more episodes. I think that's honestly perfect. I think that right now we're starting to get into some of the drama here. The episodes are picking up. I really like the ending of this one. And episode 4, I think, should get better, but we'll see where things go. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Definitely make sure to post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.